All right, and we are live here coming to you from the Progressive Auto Sales Arena. A much more attractive Jay Peckham, I have to say.
Oh, thank you very much.
Melissa Kelly joining me here today for the Sarnia Sting, getting ready to take on Kingston Frontenac. Thanks for being here to join me.
Thanks for having me. I feel that I'm underdressed next to you.
Oh, well.
I am dressed for the occasion. I have my Sting jersey on.
You are.
Right.
You're the fan today, right?
Yes, I get to be the fan.
I'm just a guy with a tie. It's supposed to make me look smarter.
Well,
or
I
something
noticed
like
even your watch matches.
Yes, that's my
for the
sister
people
gave
at
me that
home,
watch.
there you
That's
go.
right. Well, this has been an exciting week for the Sarnia Sting. Of course, how well can we talk about the start that they had to this season?
I'm going to say that they don't want to talk about that start. 2-7 so far?
Yeah, 2-7, but 0-7 for the longest time, right? You know, and of course, that's always a frustrating way to start. And it's probably the first time that this Sarnia Sting has ever begun a season that way.
Well, it's one of those things. Nobody goes into the season saying, let's lose the first 7, right? And, you know, it's tough because they have almost a new team. I mean, it is part of their rebuild years, you know, and you can't really anticipate how long it takes before those new players start clicking together.
Yeah, that's right.
But it looks like they got the hang of things towards the end of this past week.
Yeah, well, and then it started off, of course, when they were on the road. They did lose their first one on the road to Windsor, so everybody's like, ugh. And
Bit of a rivalry there,
yeah,
and with London,
a little bit.
of course.
That's right. And then they beat the Barrie Colts, who they lost to and had already played here at the home game, so that was a great start. And very significant in that game was Benjamin Goudreau.
Yes.
We've been arguing about whether that's the right way to say it.
I vote Gaudreau, but I'm going with it.
Well, you go Gaudreau and I'll go Goudreau. How about that?
Everyone knows who we're talking about.
That's right. 49 saves
Yes.
against the Barrie
Exceptional.
Colts. Yeah, and that's just amazing. Now, not to forget Ethan Langevin prior to that. He's been playing really well. Prior to that, had 40 saves. So I'm wondering if there's a little friendly competition between those two going on in the locker room.
I think that is a good thing to have with someone that pushes you to be better, right?
Yeah.
But yes, I mean, we're not discounting Langevin's contribution at all, but it's nice to see, you know, the new guy stepping up to the plate as well.
For sure. And I think many would say, you know, we have let's be, if Jay Peckham were here, he'd be talking, he's the fan perspective, right? We have a lot of conversations with, you know, you're having a beer, you're talking hockey kind of thing, and everybody's got an opinion, of course. We'd all like to go in the locker room and tell them what to do. But it seems like maybe from what I was watching, our defense has gotten a little bit stronger. I think we were a little weak in the beginning of this season, and that's just not fair to a goalie who's really doing his best out there.
It's tough, and I think it's one of those things that, as much as you say, well, it's never the goalie's fault, right? Because you've got 5 players in front of the goalie on the ice at any time, unless, you know, penalty kill.
Right.
But, you know, to get back to the goalie, to get the shot on net, there has to be a series of things that don't happen or that do happen that weren't supposed to happen.
Right.
I mean, I grew up, I play defense.
I was going to say, yeah, you were a hockey player, defense, so I kind of why I brought it up.
Not anywhere near this level of play, of course. I won't even pretend. But, you know, I think that's a good point that you're making. The defense is coming along, but I think they definitely need to pick up in their defensive game.
Right.
As you're seeing in the past 9 that they've played to start the season, they're not having any issue putting the puck in the back of the net.
No.
That's a great thing. And when I say, you know, the defense needs to improve, it's not saying the defenseman. It has to be a team effort. I mean, I think about, for instance, defense is just always, talking specifically about the defense here, always a game of decisions. Do I stay? Do I go?
Okay.
But part of the confidence of choosing and making those decisions and sticking by them is knowing that you have a winger to count on, you have your defensive partner to count on, you have your centerman to count on. And when you don't have that confidence in your teammates, and that could just be because there are a lot of new guys out, you know, it's a lot harder to make those decisions, or it's a lot harder to follow through. And when you get stuck in between, that's when things start to break down.
Right.
In my experience, anyway, I would say they are having some issues in the back end, but it's great that they're not having any issues putting the puck in the net, which is also important.
As Jay Peckham would say, hitting that little meshy thing behind the guy standing in front of
That
you.
is the goal.
You can't. We'll say hello to our friend Danny Cutzamilio. Did I say it right? I know I said it right. He joined us here not too long ago, and it says, looking great. Thanks.
I think he's talking about me.
Probably. Guaranteed he's not talking about me, but thanks, Danny, for watching. Yeah, you know, and you're right that it's a whole team effort. You know, we're not picking on any one person, but It's nice to see too when you've got 3 or 4 goalies on the line. They all want their turn, of course, and
for sure.
And the first time you come out, it's like my time to shine. Especially when they were 6 or 7 when Benjamin came in there.
Does anybody want to go in net at that point?
Right, like
not it.
Because if you lose, right, then okay, you're back over here, right? I guess I don't know what the strategy is in there, but because I'm certainly not a coach, but. No, you're right with the defense there. They've got to work together. They've got to find their weaknesses and then work on that, which they obviously showed that. Now, let's talk about leadership. We've talked for many weeks now about leadership on this team, and some of those leaders were missing,
for sure.
at least on the ice, which makes a difference. We got him
back, at least one.
We've got, Jamison Reese is now back. Of course, he was off for, I think, a 6-game suspension there, so that was coming from the very first home opener game.
Well, you can't blame them the first 7 on him at least.
no, but leadership in the locker room, I'm sure, is still there. But now we've got Ryan McGregor back now, who is off with a concussion as well. So do you think that has something to do with what happens out on the ice, or are they still around the bench able to talk to the guys?
I mean, for sure, in terms of someone that you look to who's been through it all before, for the newer players, or just even people who have come. I mean, we've picked up from the Sioux as well, and they're just getting the hang of how things work on the Sting, right?
That's right.
Coming to a new team, and you want to be able to have those reliable guys who, have been there, tried and true, I guess is a good way to say it. I did see, however, I want to say it was against Oshawa, Reese with the dirty dangles on one of those goals, just absolutely undressing some defensemen. So when you've got a player like that who really has that power, that stick handling, and great puck possession, it's always impactful to get them back on the ice.
Yeah, perfect for sure. And of course, Ryan McGregor, as we were talking about as well. And, I think when you're off that long, too, sometimes when you come back, can you be over-anxious? Could you maybe be going a little too fast out there because you're like, it's because it's your passion, right?
I think it can really be one way or the other. That they have a bit of nerves being, I've been out for 6 games. The team had a bit of a downward slide, and now, I really need to step up to make up for the games I've missed. Or it could just be, completely gung-ho and no nerves, just dying to get back on the ice.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out. Time will tell. Through the next 3 periods that we're getting ready for here. Sundays are always nice because you see some of the younger kids out here. The families are here. It's and we're doing it at 4 o'clock now this year instead of 2. I'm sure that makes a big difference. And I have seen, I don't know if you had a chance to walk around, but some of the little ones are getting dressed for Halloween.
Yeah, the Halloween game. I do. I really like the Sunday games for that family aspect. And I think when you're getting a whole family out, you're getting more people out to support the hometown team, which is great. And I think moving it closer to dinner time might see an uptick in some pizza and poutine sales.
Yeah, maybe there was some strategy in there. Well, and maybe the fact that they just started winning some hockey games might have something to do with it. I've always been that guy, like when you're down, that's when you should be filling the seats.
Right, because they need a little extra oomph,
you need that go team go, right? Because as hashtag would say, it's more than a game. But I think we've got a pretty positive atmosphere going on out here today. Our Chuck-a-Puck is going to be happening. Of course, one of the great things about here at the Sarnia Sting is they do give a lot back into our community here. You can often find them at Boston Pizza as well, serving. Have you ever been to one of the Boston Pizza, the Stinger serving you things?
I unfortunately have not, but I do know that it's a thing that they do.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun. And Sarnia
do we know who the Chuck-a-Puck is sponsoring today?
No, Melissa, I don't.
We'll find out. We'll find out and get back to you. Sorry, put you on the spot.
Danny does say he was talking about both of us, but he definitely was referring to. I think he's still talking about.
Thank you very much.
For sure. And I got his name right. Danny will be joining me here the next time we play the Sioux Greyhounds at home. He's got something he wants to talk about there. I don't know what. Talking about that, like we've seen some of the new guys. Sam Bitton, when he first got here, didn't do anything right away as far as goals, but he was out there and involved in all the plays. And then, of course, very quickly we saw him coming to face with his skills and showing that I'm here to play hockey, boys.
Right. And one of those things, and I find this hard as a player as well, sometimes you're on the ice and you feel like you're doing everything right, but it can also feel a little bit like you're just going through the motions. Right. And like you're saying, maybe you didn't notice him in the first few games, but what you have to remember as a player and even as a spectator is marking your player. Those little things, even if you're not getting as many touches on the puck or you're not getting shots on net or you're not blocking shots, staying with that player, making sure they don't get a shot on net, making sure they don't get by you, is still being an integral part of the team and the play on the ice.
Right. Well, Kingston Frontenac's, if you're to look at the stats right now, Kingston Frontenac and the Sarnia Sting, pretty close on how they're, sitting with wins and losses. I wonder if we look at that a little too much, because you could go, oh, well, they're about the same kind of a team, but Sting's on a roll right now as far as like they've got those couple of wins under their belt.
I mean,
and now we're back home. We really got to show our fans.
Home game for sure makes an impact. Saying hey, we're on a roll, I think that might be a little bit too soon. But speaking of too soon, I mean, to really compare two teams based on their win-loss at this point in the season, we're not even at a full 10 games yet, right? To game 10's today. I think that's a little premature.
Okay, got ahead of myself.
But hey, I mean, it'll.
But you know what I mean. You're coming back home from a couple of wins.
Right,
your last games are wins. That's kind of what I meant by that. And you're right. We'll call it a roll when we hit like 5 or 6 in a row.
I'll give it 4.
Give it 4?
Four
okay.
is a roll.
All right, very good. All right, well, we're going to take you out there. The starting lineup is posted on our Facebook page on the show with David Burrows, so you can check that out there. Follow me along on Twitter and Instagram as well. And we'll be checking back in, and Melissa is going to join me back for the period intermissions, and I'm sure she'll have a lot to say. Jay Peckham, you better, if you're watching, new replacement. I don't know, just saying. And Danny approves. All right, for the show live on location, I'm David Burrows. This is my friend Melissa Kelly. We will talk to you soon.